It's your boy Tater Too Real, where we always keep it too real. And today, guys, I want to talk to you about why I believe the 2024 Florida State Seminoles will have no drop-off. Stay tuned. Before I start this video, I would like to give a big shout out to head coach Mike Norvell for cleaning up the mess that Jimbo Fisher left, and also Willie Taggart. Now, head coach Mike Norvell and the Florida State Seminoles are entering year 5 under his leadership, and every year you have seen Florida State made steady increments in improving. Now, what do you mean by that, Tater Too Real? Mike Norvell does not miss in the transfer portal. Every player that he has gotten through the transfer portal, whether it be Jared Verse, whether it be running back Trey Benson, Johnny Wilson, so forth and so on, Keon Coleman, they have turned out to be very, very good players, even got drafted. So if Mike Norvell has brought a player in via the transfer portal, you can bet that that player is good and he's going to contribute. And that's one thing that Florida State was missing with Jimbo Fisher and Willie Taggart. Jimbo Fisher, was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He wanted more money, he wanted better facilities, and he got that at Texas A&M. He just did not succeed with the opportunity he was given. Now you see a situation in Mike Norvell to where Florida State is rewarding him for his loyalty, for his success at the program. What do you mean by that, Tater Too Real? Mike Norvell will be making $10 million a year to coach the Florida State Seminoles. Also, Florida State University will be getting major facility upgrades, a standalone football facility, stadium renovations, amongst other things. Now let's look at the 2024 Florida State football team. This team will be replacing a lot of starters that went on to the NFL. Most got drafted, some went undrafted, but there's a lot of replacing to do everywhere, starting with quarterback DJ Uiagalelei. Now, DJU would start off his college football career at the University of Clemson, where he got off to a great start. And many people thought DJU would go on to be a first-round NFL quarterback, but boy, was a lot of them wrong, because he was never really a great fit in Clemson's offense, in my opinion, so he was eventually beat out by quarterback Cade Klubnik, and then DJU will go on to find success at Oregon State University under head coach Jonathan Smith. And I know right now, if you're DJU, you have got to be feeling a lot of pressure because you're replacing a guy in Jordan Travis who not only got drafted to the NFL, but he was the heartbeat and soul of that Florida State team. He's a great leader. So DJU has some big shoes to fill. Now let's look at running back. Florida State will lose running back Trey Benson to the NFL. He got drafted in the 3rd round by the Arizona Cardinals, and they will look to replace him with Lawrence Toafili, who has the most experience out of all the running backs. Keziah Holmes, you got Ryan Williams from Alabama. Also, you have running back Sam Singleton. So a mixture of those four will handle the running back duties, with Lawrence Toafili being the official starter. So let's look at receiver. Now, Florida State will be replacing 2 NFL draft picks at the receiver position in Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson. So receivers like Ketron Portier, receivers like transfer Malik Beasley, also 5-star receiver Hakeem Williams, Ja'Kai Douglas, and Jaylen Brown will all compete for playing time. In my honest opinion, it's probably going to be Ketron Portier, it's probably going to be Malik Benson, and if I have to guess right here, right now, I'm going to go with Hakeem Williams, but we shall see. Now let's look at the biggest loss on the team, in my opinion, the defensive line unit. Florida State saw 3 of their starting defensive linemen go to the NFL, and Favion Lovett and Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk. Also, they will be returning Patrick Payton, Marvin Jones Jr., who transferred in from Georgia. They got Joshua Farmer, they got Darrell Jackson, to name a few. So I do believe the defensive line unit will be just A-okay. They have an outstanding defensive coordinator in Adam Fuller. So the defensive line unit will just reload. They won't be taking a step back, in my opinion. I mean, it is hard to replace a guy like Jared Verse, but they will have Patrick Payton, they will have Marvin Jones Jr., so I feel like that will be enough. Now let's look at Florida State's schedule. Florida State will open up the 2024 season versus Georgia Tech. They also have games versus Memphis, Cal, to name a few, Florida Gators, of course, and the Miami Hurricanes. Also, they play teams like Clemson, Notre Dame, and Boston College, and I do believe that Notre Dame and Miami have the best chances of beating Florida State. I am a lifelong Florida Gator fan, but if I'm being honest, the Gators are still building out their roster. I believe Billy Napier will have his best team at the University of Florida next season, once DJ Lagway is the quarterback. But for now, I'm going to give Florida State the slight advantage. But also, I want to say this. I do not believe that Alex Atkins, the offensive coordinator and the offensive line coach at Florida State, gets enough credit for the success of Florida State because he is the one calling plays. He is the one that's coaching the offensive line. And it's kind of pathetic that you have a defensive coordinator in Adam Fuller making more money than Alex Atkins. Honestly, if I was Alex Atkins, I would probably just look to be a head coach after this season because that's pretty disrespectful. I mean, Alex Atkins has recruited well for Florida State. He's over the offensive line, and he's also calling the plays. And yet you have a guy in Adam Fuller making more money. But hey, that's not my business. But you guys let me know what you think about Florida State. I'm going to predict the 11-1 season, and I do believe they will get one of those 12 college football playoff spots. I do believe either Notre Dame, Miami, or Clemson will upset Florida State, and you got to be very, very careful about SMU. SMU is a good team. They have a lot of talent on their team, and that is also a team Florida State plays this season. So if Florida State is not on their business, on their P's and Q's, they can get upset by SMU. Now, you guys let me know what you think. My final prediction is 11-1. Shout out to Mike Norvell. Shout out to Florida State. Keep climbing. This is your boy Tater 2 Real, where we always keep it too what? Too real. Holla.